5 of the NFL is going to start pretty soon, so let's do some picks and predictions. Now, before I get into these picks, let's just keep in mind, let's not put any money on this. I'm not saying you should even put a penny on it because they probably aren't correct. This is for fun purposes, and that is it. I'm getting these picks from the Bleacher Report app. If you like this kind of video, you can leave a like on it. Comment, what are your picks? What are your predictions? What do you think about this week's slate of games? What do you think about all the different tests going on in the NFL? Positive, false positive. Definitely a lot of craziness going on in football right now. And if you want to talk about anything else sports related, you could also comment about that. And subscribe to keep up with all the videos I am posting. I'm trying to do a video a day this week, so let's keep it rolling. Let's get right into these picks. We'll start off with the very first game on the slate, the Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens at 1 o'clock. Ravens are 12.5-point favorites, and I know the Ravens will win this game. But what concerns me is the reports this week that Lamar Jackson kind of in and out of practice. We don't necessarily know exactly how healthy he is. And while the Ravens will win it, I believe that not having a fully healthy Lamar Jackson, 12.5 is way too big of a number. I think the Ravens win this game maybe like 8 points, 9 points, around that area, not 12.5. That number is too high, so Ravens to win, but Bengals to cover. The second game is the Arizona Cardinals going up against the New York Jets. Cardinals 7-point favorites. And you know what? I'm taking the over with the Cardinals because I just think that the Jets are just that bad. You know, Joe Flacco will be starting this game. Sam Darnold not able to continue after that injury he had against the Broncos. Although he finished that game, he can't play this game. So I just think that Flacco, he's also coming back from an injury as well. So we have no idea what kind of status he's at. And the Jets just flat out stink no matter who the quarterback is. And I think this is a big game for the Arizona Cardinals because after they had that very impressive victory in week 1, they have not been the same. I think this is a game where the Arizona Cardinals get situated, they get themselves going, and they definitely win by more than 7 points. Give me the Cardinals. Next game is the Dallas Cowboys going up against the New York Giants. Cowboys are 8.5-point favorites. And similar to the whole Cardinals-Jets game, I just think that the Giants are so bad, and this is a game the Cowboys desperately need. The Cowboys have had a very, very disappointing season, have had a bunch of ugly losses. Even the game they won, that was just an ugly game as well. They were very lucky that the Falcons were somehow worse than the Cowboys, that they were able to win that one. So I think that the Cowboys just have to win this game because if they don't, everybody's going to be all over them. Like, it will be nonstop, just all over the Cowboys. And the Giants just are not very good. And recent head-to-head matchups have not gone in the Giants' favor. The Cowboys have won by pretty significant margins. So I think that they easily cover this 8.5 number, and it's even more than that. So definitely give me the Cowboys in that one. Next game, as it's scheduled right now, I mean, we have the Buffalo Bills and the Tennessee Titans on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. And if this game is played, we don't have a point spread right now, but I definitely love the Bills this game. You know, I'm very high on the Buffalo Bills. I think they are a really good team that never get talked about. You know, they're undefeated. Nobody talks about them. And they were really good last year. Nobody talked about them. But I just think that for Tennessee, how could they have a team that's ready to play? You know, they get in trouble for holding practices. They must be just so out of sorts. I mean, football is a very preparation-heavy game that I just think that, first of all, Buffalo is better. Number 2, we don't even know who the heck the Titans are going to roll out there. And number 3, the Titans have had no time to prepare. So whatever the number is, give me the Bills. Next game, the Eagles and the Steelers. This is a kind of interesting game. Steelers are 7-point favorites. Definitely give me the Steelers. The Eagles, once again, are dealing with a lot of injuries, similar to last year. And the Eagles just have not been very good this season. And Pittsburgh has been very impressive. I just said in the beginning of the season, this is a comeback year for Pittsburgh. I expect them to have a really good year. So I definitely have them covering this 7-point number easily. So give me the Steelers in that. Next game is the Jacksonville Jaguars going up against the Houston Texans. Texans are 5.5-point favorites. They just fired their coach. And I believe the Texans are going to win this game, even though the Texans have not won a single game this season. But I do think the Jaguars are going to cover. I believe this game will be a little closer than 5.5 points, probably more like 3 points, maybe even 2 points. I just think this is going to be a close game that the Texans just barely win. So again, Texans winning, but Jaguars covering. Next game is the Carolina Panthers going up against the Atlanta Falcons. And the Falcons are 1.5-point favorites. And you know what? It's like the Falcons have got to win a game eventually. And this is probably my least confident pick, but I guess I'm going to take the Falcons. I hate that pick, but I'm just going to take them. They can't lose this game also. Like, I know they've been bad this year, but they can't lose this one to Carolina. They just can't do it. Like, similar to the way the Cowboys can't lose, the Falcons just cannot lose this game. They need this game. So I'll take the Falcons. It's such a small number. I hate it, but I'm going to pick Atlanta. Next game is the Kansas City Chiefs going up against the Las Vegas Raiders. Chiefs are 11.5-point favorites. And Kansas City is on another level this year. I think they're probably going to go undefeated this year if healthy. How the heck do you beat this Kansas City team? They are absolutely ridiculous. And the Raiders don't impress me that much. I think the Chiefs, even though it's a big number, the Chiefs are just that good, especially with their offense, that they could cover that kind of number and beat that kind of number. So definitely give me the Chiefs in that game. The next game is the San Francisco 49ers going up against the Miami Dolphins. 49ers are 8.5-point favorites. And while the 49ers have had a bit of a weird year, with all the injuries they've had and inconsistencies in their performances, even though the 49ers will win this game, the Dolphins will cover. I mean, the 49ers are not good enough to be 8.5-point favorites right now because they're just not healthy enough. If this was a fully, loaded 49ers team where everybody's out there and playing well, definitely the 49ers can cover that number. But Miami is pesky. Miami is tough, and I think they'll keep it close enough. They'll lose, but I think Miami should be able to cover that number. So give me the Dolphins covering, but the Niners win. Next game is the Colts going up against the Cleveland Browns, and as of right now, Bleacher Report does not have a number for this game, and I can understand why, because it's very hard to lean either way. But I think that the Browns are riding a bit of momentum from the last game, looking so good against the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe they're finally figuring out. I've said in the past that with the kind of talent that this Cleveland Browns team possesses, there is no excuse for why they've constantly been so underwhelming. So I really think that Cleveland should be able to just continue their hot streak and be able to defeat the Indianapolis Colts. I don't know what the number is, but if there is a number and it's close, I still take the Browns. The next game is the Minnesota Vikings going up against the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks are 7-point favorites, and I think that's actually a really good number. The Seahawks should win by even more than that. Minnesota has been very, very disappointing this season, and I think Seattle has played great this year. I think Russell Wilson is having an MVP caliber year. He's red hot. The Seahawks are rolling. The Vikings are not rolling, and I think the Seahawks easily cover that number, so definitely give me Seattle. Next game, Broncos versus the Patriots. Monday night, 5 o'clock start. Very weird. If this game is played, as of right now, this report has no number for this game either, but I think that I still have to take the Patriots. I know that Cam Newton isn't going to play, but the Broncos, I don't like the Broncos. I've said time and time again, they are not very good. And I just think that in a game where there's no point spread, bad Broncos going up against Belichick, I have to pick Belichick regardless of who the quarterback is. So give me the Patriots because I'm guessing the point spread is probably very close in that game. So I'll take the Pats. Last game of the slate is the Chargers going up against the Saints. 8.5-point favorites for the Saints. The Saints have been kind of disappointing this year, and the Chargers don't amaze me. This is such a tough one right here because, I could see it being, so close. I could see the Saints, winning by 10, but I could also see the Saints winning by, 7. So I think I'm going to have to take the Chargers. Even though the Saints will win, I think the Chargers could still cover. I think 8.5 is a bit too much for a New Orleans team that has not been that impressive, and the Chargers haven't been that bad. They've been respectable enough, so I think that game will be just close enough, but the Saints will win. So that is all of the games for the Week 5 of the NFL. Definitely a lot of pretty good games. Some blowouts, no doubt about it. Not the best slate of games, and it definitely is very weird. 2 Monday night games, a Tuesday night game. The Thursday night game was very crazy with the Bears defeating the Buccaneers. I would not predict that. I would have picked the Bucs just because I think Tampa's supposed to be good, but they've been a little sketchy so far. Haven't been quite as amazing as they were made out to be in the offseason, and the Bears just have a really good blueprint to beat them. We know that to beat Tom Brady, you need good pass rush, and Chicago definitely has that. So that's why they're able to defeat Tampa Bay. You saw Brady getting very frustrated when Khalil Mack was all over him. So the next video will be me recapping all these games that I predicted. Let's see how I did. We'll make some kind of score. Again, don't put any money on it. Times are tough. You don't want to lose any money, just like I don't want to lose money. But if a bunch of people get the subscribe button, maybe I can make some money, and you didn't have to pay to give me that money. That would be a great deal. But until the next one, be safe, be smart, be healthy, and have a good one, everybody.